Hey everyone, I know I promised a live event today. My name is Magi History. Welcome to my channel. Um, yeah, I'm learning this stuff. And I'm the only person doing it. So I promised a bunch of TikTok people I would do a TikTok live, as well as my YouTube and that kind of stuff. But I'm still learning what I'm doing. So clearly I'm clueless about that. Plus, because of this little bracket here, I can't do part of what I wanted to do today. So just so you know, this is my F150. It's a 2024 STX. Has the 2.7 liter turbocharged V6. I prefer the 2.7. I think it's a great engine, and quite frankly, I mean Ford has decided it should be the standard for all F-150s. The 3.5 course costs more money, and so does the V8. Um, I have been selling. I sold Fords for a few years before I became a teacher. So right now, Ford is my favorite brand. I do know a lot about them. I've done some mods on this. This is an STX. So there's a lot of things it didn't come with. I actually wanted an STX with a FX4 package. That means skid plates and wheels, 18-inch wheels and off-road wheels. Unfortunately, the only ones they had were V8s. Like I said, I'm not really a fan of V8s. I drove a lot of tuner cars when I was younger, like Civics and Volkswagens. I prefer turbos. I'm not really into the big, super loud engines. I like a comfortable ride. I've been off-road. My very first automobile was actually a GMC S15 1988 model, so it was a square body. It's actually the exact same truck that you found in the Chevy Cyclone, except without the supercharger. But it did have something new at the time, which was a 4.3 liter fuel injected V6, and I love that truck. It was really great. But I need more comfort these days. So a little bit more about the truck. I have done some modifications already. I don't have a lot of money to do a lot of stuff like some of these big creators. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I've bought from places like AmericanTrucks.com, Stage 3 Motorsports, and where I live in Texas, I actually live less than 5 minutes from a Summit Racing store. So you'll see a lot of Summit stuff on my truck if I ever do a walk around, which I will do. I'm not done with it. There's actually been quite a few things I have modified. The biggest so far, there is a video. It's not a very good one, but what I did was I had this guy Matt, who's a friend of mine. He's a mechanic. My truck did not come with the X4. Yeah, the FX4 package, and because it didn't come with it, like I told you before, it didn't have a locking differential. In fact, when I went to go buy the truck, I insisted it had to be 4x4 and locking differential. I told them what I want. I thought I found a truck there, but typical, if you know anything about car dealerships, they want to make a biggest profit as possible, and to do that, they're going to see what they can do to get you to accept the lowest trim for the highest amount of money. So you got to be smart about that. I was smart about it, but they kind of tricked me because they said there was a locking diff. And then when I realized when I got on to drive away, did not. I could have easily gone in there and spent another 12 hours haggling with them for a locking diff, and it's probably what I should have done. But I think it's a blessing because I actually had Matt put in a Eaton TrueTrac, which is a limited slip rear differential. This is 4x4. So some people may argue a locking diff is better. Some will argue that a LSD is better. Point is that along with that, in the 4x4, you can pretty much get out of most everything. Now, F-150s weren't meant to be rock crawlers anyway. That's what a Bronco is for. That's what a Jeep's for. Some people do it, but I only put a level kit on that. That's the first thing I did, because I actually put a Bilstein 5100 front leveling what do they call it, shocks on there. If I knew more and had more money, I would have probably gone with the 1600 6000 this 6020s, I think they're called. Anyway, they're a more expensive shock. There's actually about 3 times more expensive than the 5100s, but in long term, that probably would have been a better idea. And I'd like to do, I love Bilstein. I'd like to do that eventually, but still, the 5100 with the leveling shocks plus the rear 5100 shocks, they are definitely much better than OEM, so I'm very happy about that. I have to do my build based off of money, like everybody else, and being a teacher, it's not like I have a huge amount of money to spend, which is why I think my channel would be more, I think more people would appreciate it, simply because everybody's doing the trimmers and the Raptors and that kind of stuff, and I just ain't got that kind of money. In fact, the garage I'm in right now is an apartment garage, so for anyone who can afford a F-150 but not a big house with a big garage, this channel is probably for you, or at least this video. So what I had planned to do today is I got a bumper cover from realtrucks.com, and that bumper cover is just a black bumper cover that goes with 3M tape over it. Unfortunately, in order for me to do that, because I like the blackout, this was not a blackout package. Again, everything I wanted, they wanted me to spend an extra $5,000 on, and I wasn't really willing to do that, especially when I always mod something about my truck anyway, or any car I've had. I'm kind of I am a 80s, 90s kid, so I like carbon fiber, even if it's fake. This truck actually started out with the blue oval in front and back, and I went ahead and bought the black ovals, and I installed that, which actually involved taking the entire grill out. In fact, I can't do this bumper cover today because this needs to come out, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to remove that, and that means this shroud down here has to come out because this is not this is not a Coyote, so apparently you literally, to get to just this, there's no way to take it off temporarily from coming from the front. You have to go in the back and do it, and I can't get to it. So it looks like I'm going to have to take the whole thing off, or when I do my live on January 30th with Matt and I, in case you're interested, we're going to be putting in the front limited slip differential Eaton and some trimmer CV joints into the front of this thing. So we're going to have a LSD in the front and the LSD in the back. If you ever know what that is, it's also referred to as a torsion differential. Mine are by Eaton. Eaton was the first ones to do it. Now Ford makes them too, but the Eaton ones are easily compatible and like $100 cheaper than the Ford ones. So I went and looked for sales. I believe I got the Eaton TrueTracs from Stage 3. Again, I'm not sponsored. I just found that Stage 3 was cheaper. The problem with Stage 3 is they're kind of slower when it comes to shipping than American Trucks. But American Trucks has a tendency to be a little bit more expensive, and so is Summit. Even though I live down the street, I just waited. In fact, they're sitting here along with some other stuff. The reason for my video today was not to talk about my F-150 overall. There's lots of mods here. Ford F-150 LEDs. I have the side lights, which I'd show you if I had a cameraman. Eventually, I will show you those. And Slick Diesel. I ended up getting this light bar from Slick Diesel. Slick Diesel is not somebody I can recommend because this package was in the 300 range, and they made me believe it came with a plug and play adapter and all that stuff for the truck. It did not. In fact, it's supposed to. It said it was for the STX model, but the prongs in here that hold it in are actually will not connect to the grill at all. So I just use 3M tape. And that 3M tape seems to be doing really well. A lot of stuff I do is 3M, of course. Of course, you have the ABS front here, which is 3M tape for now, because I have a tendency sometimes, because I don't have the little sensors up front, I have little rubber to rub against if I do that by accident. I would love to show you the whole truck, and I will eventually, but I want to wait till I get the whole differential and everything put in. But for today, what I think I'm going to do is, like I said, I have the bumper cover here. It's all ready to go. But, again, I have to take off that. So what I'm going to do today is, so being an STX, this rear mirror, they don't come with the corner light. They don't come with the camera, 360 camera, and they don't come with a puddle light. So what can I say? I wanted everything except, but 360 camera would be nice, but it's too expensive to do aftermarket. So I could have done it when I got it, but like everybody, we're on a budget, and yes, I know I'm spending more money in the aftermarket, but these are the original mirrors here. So this mirror, even the base mirror, is, I believe, $300 or $500, and the one with the camera, the XLT 360, is over $1,000. And this, you see here, I put this fake carbon fiber cover on it, but there's no lights or anything on the STX one. So I went to eBay. If you're going to buy something on eBay, just realize some things are going to work, some things aren't. It is what it is. But then again, you can buy more expensive things and have the same problem. I bought from American Trucks some over fenders, the OEM style fenders for my truck. And I installed them exactly like they said they were to be installed. The only problem is this is a 2024. And even though it said it was compatible with 2024, the caps and some of the locking points where you put the your screws are different. In fact, in this wheel well itself, there isn't the top screws, so you have to get some adapters. So I had to go out and buy some screws for that. I did the best I could with those fenders, but unfortunately, one of the side ones came off while I was driving. So, and again, I guess it's because the modification. I like American Trucks where, again, they're shipping and they got a lot of install videos, but I've been disappointed with some of the things. I feel like I've wasted my money, because having a 2024, which is a 14 Gen F150, and having it in for the first year, they haven't made any real changes to and they say it is. They said it will work. The very first modification I had on my truck was actually my rear bumper. 2 days after I purchased the truck, some guy hit me from the back because he thought I was going to pull up faster on the light or something. I don't know. It was a hit and run. He took off on me. And my insurance deductible would have been more than buying a aftermarket bumper. So I bought an aftermarket bumper from American Trucks, and a welding teacher that I know helped me install it. We didn't weld it, of course. I'll eventually show you that as well if you watch in different videos. This is really just an overview of my truck and some of the basic things I did. I did put on the new aftermarket rear view mirrors. I mean, not rear view mirrors. side mirrors. Now, some people in the forums wanted the elephant ears, that's the towing mirrors, and which is why they replaced theirs. I replaced mine because I wanted the puddle light and the turn signal. So you have to go into ForeScan if you have an STX and enable both of those mirror puddle lights and turn signals, which is what I did. It was a trial and error. ForeScan, I'm not going to do a tutorial videos. There's a bunch of them out there, but even with that, you got to be careful about messing with a bunch of stuff on ForeScan, because my truck, I started messing with some settings, and next thing I know, it started acting funky. So I ended up resetting everything back to factory except for my display, which has a the Raptor display on it, interior, and the mirrors themselves, the turn signals. So what I'd like to do, and you just follow along if you want, I'm going to clean and put on both the cover, which is, let me see, which is here. I got two covers. Again, they are just simple eBay covers with 3M tape, and has the quality, quote unquote, quality carbon fiber, fake carbon fiber on it. These are going to last just a couple years, but they're relatively cheap. I actually use these on my interior too. I will show my interior once I can figure out exactly this video stuff. That's why I apologize. I'm going to upload this to TikTok and YouTube probably without being edited, simply because I'm not quite knowledgeable yet, and I do have a tendency to overdo it when I'm trying to edit stuff. So hopefully I'll have somebody that can help me with that. If you enjoy the if you enjoy the content and you like it, like I said, it's pretty basic stuff, but follow along. I think you'll find it interesting. And let me first show you my little bar lights, just to keep you a little bit more interested. Go over here. I also have some covers here. You can see the light there. Once I get the Eaton front shift differential put in, LDS and all that stuff, which we will video, we'll do a full walk around of my truck. So please watch videos and check it out. But let me go ahead and turn on this real quick. Okay. Here we go. This is the front. Not too shabby. What do you think? Not too bad. I think it's neat. We're also going to put on, or try to put on, these turn signal, their turn signal smoked tints on these mirrors. These are aftermarket mirrors made in China, so it may not be a perfect fit. We're going to find that out today as I do the install, okay? So let me turn this off. Okay. All right. And we'll get to work on this. So it's 3M, so the first thing we want to do is this. It has a mixture. It's half alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and half water. I'm going to just use that to clean. Excuse me. This one is the one with alcohol and water. This is soap and water, okay? So first we're going to clean the mirror itself so we can get the so we can prep it for putting on the cover, okay? Some people like to do paint matching, which is fine, but when you go online to go find a paint match cover, a lot of times they're several $100s, which kind of negates the purpose, in my personal opinion. Some people like to call it the F-150 tax, and the F-150 tax is real. They constantly, companies love to charge you way more than they need to. Of course, they need to make a profit, which makes sense. So I'm not taking that away from them, but not every F-150 owner has a ton of money, even if it's a new F-150. So, all right, I think first we're going to try and match the the tint on it first, since that's probably the easier thing to do. See if I can use these snips here. Okay, figure out which one's which. Actually, I have some box cutters somewhere. Let's see. Box cutters, box cutters, box cutters. This was organized, but this also has my license plate here. So as a teacher, I can't tell anybody if I'm doing social media where I work. That's why I don't mention it. As a public servant, we have a contract, like most large organizations, where naturally we got to be careful what we say because we are public employees, but also my job's not endorsing my videos, obviously. So this is why I don't share more about that. Not to mention, if you watch my TikToks, not everybody agrees with my politics, and that's okay. Half the time I don't agree with my own politics. So anyway, see if this is the right one. Okay, so this one is that the right side? Let me get a look at it. Yep, it sure is. So they're suggesting the wet method, which means literally just wet the light here. Okay, which is what I'm about to do. Just get a bunch of soap on it, soapy water. Okay, so that's good and wet. All right. Says that I probably need a towel, so we'll do a small fiber towel here. Okay. Right, got the towel. Now it's well, this one, yeah, let me make sure. Does that curve this way? Yeah, that curves properly. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit at a time, see if we can center it. Yeah. Okay, I don't think it's exactly like the F-150s, but this mirror, you didn't know it wasn't OEM. If someone told you this was OEM, you would believe them, because it has everything but the 360 light. So, all right, that looks like that's going to fit okay. All right, so that's pretty easy. Now it is wet. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, it's holding. So if that's holding, that means it will fit. It's not done yet though, because this is tint. It needs to be heated to shrink it. To shrink it to the glass. So we're gonna take my trusty. Yep, you got it. We're gonna. You can use a hair dryer as well. But oh man, I'm so fat. Jesus. Ugh. Okay. So go ahead and plug that in. Heat gun, heating. Okay, you don't want to be aggressive with it. You're just simply going over it like that. Okay. It looks like that Looks like the real thing might be slightly larger than this aftermarket one. Okay. Oopsie. Now, this may not be perfect, but we're going to be putting the um, framing over it too, so I don't think it has to be perfect. Okay. I'm going to shrink that. Okay. And I'm looking for a certain look, so I can actually cut a lot of this free, it looks like. Okay. Because, yeah, I'm having some crinkling, not on the, just on the sides there. So it looks like I could probably cut some of this away once I get it at least close to being right. Alright. These things do not have to be perfect, especially for these tents, because most people will never notice it unless they're close up on it. And I've had the same issue with my rear light. I tinted that as well. Originally, the reason why I got these is I had originally bought a over cover that had 3M that was plastic, but like I said, it didn't have the same curvature as this light does. So trying to get everything perfect on here is kind of a high expectation considering it is aftermarket and the parts I'm buying for it are for the OEM. So again, you're going to have some imperfections, but as long as you go in knowing that, it's actually not a big deal. Okay, so I'm just trying to cut this stuff free. Okay. By the way, I'm using the Hohem M7, and Mike, in case you're wondering, I've had it for a while, but I keep on trying to find people who might be interested in helping me video, but you know how people are. They don't want to help you until you're already making money or something like that in it. So it is what it is. By the way, I don't have any running boards yet because I want some that are high profile, like the Raptor ones. But as you know, that costs money. And right now, I'm working on stuff that is either inexpensive to do, or I get a good bang for the buck. It's the reason why I don't have a tonneau cover. Sorry, I've had some recent dental stuff working on. I'm in the process of getting a whole new grill going on in my mouth. So I may talk a little funny, that kind of stuff. Oh, okay. Well, that works there. So if you're looking dead on this, it looks like crap. Okay. But remember, we're about to put a cover on it. So the light should look fine once the cover's on it. So that's what we're about to do. Let's see, which one do I have? Okay. So let me do a quick wash again. Where is it? Okay, that's the alcohol one. Okay. This one is not. Okay, this is just soap and water. Pop that on. See if we can do this. All right. So I don't know what kind of video format you could call this. You can call this moron doesn't know how to edit video, or you can call it in real life. You can call it whatever you want, as long as you're watching. So I appreciate those who are watching the video. Just the right side. Let me double check. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's gonna look really good, except at night. During the day, people might notice that, but it is what it is. It's not that big of a deal. If it looks super bad, I'll just take it off. Okay? So, very simple. You gotta take the 3M off here, and then you're gonna press it on with some pressure. It's not rocket science or anything like that. Oh, I could have used this earlier. Maybe later I can work with it. I'm looking for my favorite cutter because that other one's kind of bulky. So this is my workbench over here. Like I said, this is a one car apartment garage. So room is how it is. And that's it. A room is a room is a room. Okay. So the light install was super easy. So you can go on to can y'all see me over here? Yeah, you can see me. Install it. Like I said, I found the mirror on eBay. Both mirrors cost me $200. Well, that's like $220 with shipping from China, which is a pretty good deal. Again, you're expecting perfect OEM. Well, congratulations, OEM ain't perfect either. But it suffices for what I want. And at the end of the day, I can always change it back because I still have the original lights. They're still in good shape. But I really enjoy these. So let me see. Why can't I find the... Oh, duh. Oh, got that already. Oh, yeah, I need the cutter. What did I do with that? So much crap up here. Oh, man. Back's killing me, too. All right, let me see here. By the way, if you say, wow, that guy's fat and balding and toothless, you'd be right. I'm working on all of that. Part of hopefully I can lose some weight and get in better shape if I do these videos more. At least that's my hope. Let's see, where is it? All right, I'm just gonna have to use the original cutter. The reason why I can't do it, I need the cutter, is because of the these 3M tape things are a pain in the butt to take off. On the videos, they make it look real easy. That's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to do these videos this way, is eventually do them live. Like I said, I would have, but my TikTok account isn't set up for that yet. So I'll upload this to YouTube. I'll try and do it on TikTok. I don't know if I can do either, because we're talking about from my phone up to YouTube. So God knows how long that's going to take to load. But this video is not going to be short. It's going to be short enough because we're just going to quit after this. But I will be doing lives. I'm going to try for every Saturday, as long as the winter is cool. Because right now it's 60 degrees outside, which in Texas is comfortable. But inside the garage, it's about 75 to 80. So during the summertime, it's going to be like 120 in here. So I would have to find a different place to film. Yes, you might see the name of my video. My channel is The Man Closet. So I moved here from Florida for about 5 years ago. I was in the car business when I moved. My wife had been teaching school English for 15 years in public and private school. I actually got certified in Florida, but Florida teachers on average make around $20,000 less than a teacher in Texas for at least the metropolitan areas. There are places in Texas where they make the same as Florida. So to give you an idea of the amount of money pay difference, my wife in Florida with 15 years experience, the most money she ever got paid was $48,000 a year to teach. 48 doesn't sound like, for some people it sounds like a lot of money because, you know, it's um, there's a lot of hourly jobs. God knows I had them. I was a security guard. I was a cook. Um, I worked in hospitals as a registrar. Basically, hourly jobs that paid less than $20 an hour. Another one would be like I was a banquet server and bartender in the hospitality industry, which paid a lot, but you know anything about people in hospitality, marriages don't last that long in hospitality, especially if you're in the higher end, because you do actually make a lot of money, but you spend a lot of money. You spend a lot of time at work, and lots of times working relationships happen, if you know what I mean. So I wanted to keep my marriage, so the money and the fun had to end. So I went to just get hourly jobs where I went to college part time. And I did a lot of stuff. I've even worked um, day labor, temporary jobs, all that kind of stuff. You gotta make a living, right? So for those type of people, 48 grand is pretty darn good. But for someone with a college degree actually working in their field, it's it's not that great. In fact, my daughter, who is 20 years old, she is in retail sales, and she's a retail sales manager at 20 years old, and she makes more than I do already. But anyway, 48,000 was the most she made in Florida. And Florida is more expensive than Texas overall. Still way cheaper than a lot of places, especially up north. But compared to Florida, Florida is more expensive. The minimum wage in Florida is higher than Texas. But if you are a professional or have a vocation, you can do pretty well in Texas. So that's one of the reasons why we moved here. I did move for my job mainly, but that didn't work out. So I went and I moved cars at the airport until I could get certified as a teacher. But my wife in Florida as a teacher, the most she made was 48,000. Well, the year we got here, that 48 became 72. 72,000 from 48. That's right, 24 or $25,000. And mind you, Florida is more expensive than Texas. So for me, I'm like, hey, maybe now is a good time to become a teacher where I can actually make a living. So that's what I'm doing. I'm very happy at it. Been doing it for a few years now. And I teach social studies. So because I teach social studies, I'm into politics. Again, some people may disagree, but I don't believe in indoctrinating my students. I believe in just giving them information that I know and they can verify. And if they do have a different opinion than me, hey, that's fine. I just want to know how you got it, you know? Because you should be fair with people and students. You know, that looks damn good. Let me see if I can Well, I have AI tracking right now, which is why I haven't done any close-ups, because if I do that, that will screw up the AI tracker. So anyway, this would be the finished good on this. That's already been installed. Let's see how it looks. So I'm going to put the blinkers on. So with the blinkers, oh yeah, oh yeah, that looks pretty good if you can see that. Okay, so that's today's video. I hope to do more. I'm going to go ahead and finish up this other side. I know you probably don't want to watch that, but thank you for watching. I will do some more content. Like say, I will be working on some live as soon as I get that TikTok, because I'm using Streamlabs multicast and Streamlabs. I did all that stuff with the OBS. I'm too busy teaching and all that other stuff. So if you know somebody in the DFW area that's interested in editing and seeing where it goes, let me know. If you want to help me with, like, I'd love to get a real intercooler and a blow-off valve. That would be pretty sweet for my F150. Maybe some. I love the. Still love to go the higher Bilstein. If anybody wants to sponsor, love you, Bilstein. I have 20 rims. Like to go to 18 and get some KO3s. And, you know, really make this a real project truck. But I don't have to. It'd just be something nice. So if you know anybody, let me know. Thank you.